potential to be opportunistic. Lalo na itong mga ito, like Sinilia, Elongata, and the rest, they are the one that causes respiratory infection. Kingella, example, Kingella, Kingay, and the nitrificans, they are actually catalyst oxidase positive pa din, but of course, no, they are actually in pairs and in chains. No? Now, your Echinella, we call that corroding bacteria. Example, Echinella corrodens. And Simonschila, the gliding motility bacteria, which are large, flat, multicellular filamentous by nature. But if you will see, sa ating Neisseria, Moraxella is not included. But they resemble as gram-negative cocci ang Moraxella. One good example is your Moraxella catarrhalis. Your Moraxella catarrhalis actually are all morphologically and biochemically similar to Neisseria, but no longer a member of family Neisseriaceae. But ang pinaka-common na isolate natin na Moraxella is the catarrhalis and lacunata. Catarrhalis are the one that causes pneumonia, and lacunata that causes conjunctivitis. Yan ang ating Moraxella. Let's continue. For our general characteristics, ang ating gram-negative cocci are diplococci, most of which are oxidase and catalase positive. Tandaan nyo, no? These two biochemical tests reveals to differentiate with other gram-negative bacteria. Neisseria longata is an exception because they are catalase negative and rad-shaped. Neisseria weaveri is actually catalase positive pero rad-shaped. Okay? So pag makikita mo, they are not diplococci by nature as to gram staining or morphology. Now makikita natin na ang ating gram-negative cocci are usual flora, particularly upper respiratory and urogenital. Upper respiratory, Neisseria meningitidis, urogenital, Neisseria gonorrhea. Now take note that most of our Neisseria are routine, normal flora, but there are some isolates that are human pathogen, and Neisseria meningitidis is inhabitant in the upper respiratory, and the primary pathogen that we have, ito. Ito yung common na aaralin natin for today, Neisseria gonorrhea and meningitidis. Kasi ito, yung dalawang human pathogen that reveals certain clinical significance to man. Now, to differentiate the two, to identify the infection, if the sample is vaginal or penile, at nakikita tayo ng gram-negative diplococci, Neisseria gonorrhea. Pag nakakita ka ng gram-negative diplococci na ganyan, tapos siya sa mga sample, suspect for Neisseria meningitidis. Next, so these are some of our Neisseria species and Moraxella. Neisseria gonorrhea and meningitidis, human only, ang ating pathogen. The rest are opportunistic and it can be causing other animals. But in man, it can be opportunistic. Elongata is opportunistic. Catarrhalis, it can cause pneumonia, but they can cause only in humans. Next, let's discuss yung tinatawag nating many species of Neisseria resident of the human mucous membrane, particularly gonorrhea and meningitis. Pero itong dalawang to, it causes infection. Other Neisseria are actually, of course, normal flora, but in some circumstances, pwede magkaroon ng infection dito, particularly respiratory by nature. Your Neisseria sicca, lactanica, flavescens, mucosa, and subflava. Okay? Yan. Now, if you will see the morphology, yun ang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa kay Staphylococcus pneumoniae. Ang Staphylococcus pneumoniae, gram-positive diplococci. Ang Neisseria, gram-negative diplococci. Tama? And of course, ang Neisseria gonorrhea, actually, kung makikita mo ang genic structure, may pilay. So the pilay for Neisseria gonorrhea is for attachment. At ginagamit din nila ito for what you call now development of antigenic determinant as for potential vaccine. Neisseria meningitidis may capsule that is actually used for serotyping or serogrouping like A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. And even W135 na ginagamit nila for development of vaccine ng ating Neisseria meningitidis. So by looking on their antigenic structure, yan yung ginagamit natin to identify our bacteria, plus of course, ginagamit for development of vaccine. Now, let's discuss our Neisseria gonorrhea. Pilay. Dalawang klase ng pilay. Merong strain na virulent na may pilay, yung isa wala. No? If that is T1 and T2 virulent colony, merong pilay yan. Pag T2 to T5, no pilay. And take note, alam naman natin ang function ng pilay for attachment. And take note, maliban sa attachment, meron siyang antiphagocytic factor. Okay? Now, another, kung makikita natin dito, T1, T2 upon isolation but subculture, they lost their pilay. Then functions is to evade immune system. That's the use of your pilay or fimbriae. Kaya alam nyo ba, kapag may infection ng isang patient, particularly tulo, no? Ang nangyari dito, madaling magkaroon ng attachment yung ating bacteria in mucosal cell because of this one. Kaya pag halimbawa, nagle-labor ang nanay, no? At buntis, tapos nanganak, pwedeng ang nanay, yung bata, mabulag. Kasi yung sa mata, may mucosal area na pwedeng pagkapitan ng bacteria. Remember, they have a pilay. Diba? Kaya nga yun yung sinabi ko sa inyo, Krebs prophylaxis. That's actually 1% silver nitrate. Kapag may ophthalmia, neonatolog. Okay? Sa sobrang dami ng inaaral nyo, nakalimutan nyo na yung mga yan. No? Kaya sabi ko, pag halimbawa, edi ibagsak ko ng bakte, unahin ng hima. Ganon. Para kung ano yung madali, kasi ganoon din, mababagsak talaga ako. Ganoon din. Akala nyo siguro hindi ako mababagsak dito, I will. Pag hindi nyo kaya, sabihin nyo lang sa akin. Kasi talagang marami ito. Gulat kayo, dalawa na yung na-discuss ko. Sa iba wala pa, kasi nga, mahaba ang bakte. Pag hindi ako mag-discuss, wala tayong matatapos. Nag-recording na ako kanina yung discuss ko, dahil maraming bagyo. Diba? Nag-discuss ako sa kanina, sa Arellano. Binigay ko yung video, yung dati ko nang ginawa, para hindi na ako mahirapan. Ilan yung slides on 150 plus? Parang 160? 150 yata, hindi ko alam. Nakawa tuloy ako sa kanila. Mahirap kasi talagang back pain. Pero mga second takers ko, actually pasado na sila. Kaya parang, pag second takers ka pala, tawag dito, pag second takers ka, madali mo na lang siya ipasa. Parang ito kanina, nag-lecture ako, pinapanood namin kanina. Habang nasa Arellano ako, pinapanood ko ito kanina, habang nagle-lecture ako. So, sabi ko, ito yung lecture ko ng Hemophilus.
In our influenza, kasi para influenza, it does not require the B factor. No? And of course, ang active Hemophilus acropilus, bite wound infection, which so makikita natin dito, that wala kasing bacteria sa baba, differential test for Hemophilus, at the same time, aggregative factor, pero hindi ko nakita yung bacteria dito. But for our, sa baba, makikita natin dito yung ating Hemophilus and aggregative factor. Okay? So, for makikita natin dito, oxidase positive ang influenza para influenza. Then at the same time, catalase positive din ang influenza at para influenza. For our X and B factor, makikita natin dito that negative ang aggregative factor pagdating sa catalase, sa oxidase. Ilan na tayo? Okay. Agar, that underline non-hemolytic and mucoidal with a narrow green or brown halo. So yan ang morphology ng ating colony. If you will able to isolate in the blood agar page, which are non-hemolytic with narrow or green or brown halo sa ating chocolate agar page. Now, most infections are localized. Halimbawa, sabihin natin, nakamot ka ng pusa sa skin, so localized area, doon sa may kamot na yun, magkakaroon ng infection. Diba ba? If there are some immunocompromised patients, joints, even respiratory or nervous system are highly affected. That's why ang ating actually oxidase positive, whereas Bordetella are oxidase negative. Motility, motil ang Bordetella only. Reservoir ng ating Legionella, nabanggit ko na yung kanina, sa mga fountains.
Diba? So, gusto yung gano'n na lang kaya? No? Para ulit-ulitin nyo na lang. Tapos quiz na next meeting. Diba? I think that's good. Gawa ko ng mga lecture ko na ganyan. Tapos hindi na ako magtuturo every meeting quiz. Siyempre, kasi napaload yun na. Diba? Tama? Okay, quiz tayo. O, diba? Kasi napaload yun na. Para mas maganda yung ganun, gawa ako ng mga lecture na ganun. What do you think? O. Para mas okay siya, diba? Kasi katulad yun, pausta ko. Okay. So that's actually for antigenic determination of variation ng pilay natin. Guys, pag tayo sa culture, nawawala yung pilay ng ating bacteria sa may primary colony. Now, at the same time, no, makikita natin for Neisseria meningitidis, ang kanilang virulence factor is a capsule. Now, take note na ang ating Neisseria meningitidis is, ang capsule is for antiphagocytic factor. At the same time, they contain cell outer membrane proteins. Ang tawag natin dito, porins. The porins actually has antigenic variation and there is a certain particular function. Why? Kasi ginagawa niya dito, it binds the pathogen and prevent binding of effective antibodies. Kasi ang ginagawa niya, yung protein na yan, siya ang makikipag-bind sa antibody to make that antibody useless. So yan ang ginagawa ng ating Neisseria meningitidis. Plus, of course, ito yung protein natin. First, the porin A or B. Anti-inflammation, response, complement, killing. Tandaan, ang complement, the properties to, antigen-antibody reaction, saka papasok si complement. After that, si complement, siya yung sisira ng cell. Unfortunately, kay porin A, that will able to what you call now, destroy the complement. Protein 2 or OPA, facilitate attachment and antiphagocytic factor. And your protein 3, it can blocks your IgG. Yan ang ginagawa ng foreign proteins natin in the outer membrane of Neisseria meningitidis. Next, lipopolysaccharides and lipo-oligosaccharides. Ang oligosaccharides is actually for tissue damage. And therefore, it gives rapid destruction in our tissue. Maliban dito, may endotoxin na pinaproduce ang ating Neisseria meningitidis. And that is your LPS, lipopolysaccharide. At ito rin yung dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating hemorrhage ng adrenal gland. Or we call that, huwag yun na isulat, Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. Okay? Nasa notes yan. Mamaya makikita nyo. IgA protease is a proteolytic enzyme that destroy the protein in the mucosal area, then for attachment in the mucosal surfaces ng ating bacteria. Yan ang ginagawa ng ating Neisseria meningitidis. Now, tingnan natin. To summarize our virulence factor, membrane for attachment in the epithelial cells. Kaya pag nagkaroon ng tulo yung isang patient, no? Sa lalaki, symptomatic. Sobrang hapde. Now, LPS, lipopolysaccharide endotoxin, that can cause Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. Outer membrane proteins, ito yung porins natin that destroys the antibodies. Then IgA protease for attachment and allow persistence, colonization of infection despite may humoral antibody response. Yan ang ating virulence factor. Kasi ang IgA, they are responsible for secretions. Ang ginagawa ng IgA protease, sinisira niya yun. Para sa ganun, makapag-attach yung bacteria in the mucosal surface ng katawan ng isang patient. Tandaan, your IgA protease are not only common in Neisseria, they are also present in other bacteria. Okay? Lalo na yung mga bacteria that are actually in line with mucosal surfaces. Next, trabaho lang to. Okay? Pag nakita nyo yan, trabaho lang. Okay? So, baka may isipin yung bastos-bastos sa ipapakita ng mga titi. Nasa natural. Neisseria gonorrhea. Ano ituturo ko? Diba? Now, Neisseria gonorrhea actually, humans are the only natural host, and this is gonorrhea. Gonorrhea in Tagalog tulo. They are pyogenic, past for me. No, kaya pag halimbawa sa lalaki, symptomatic yan after 24 to 48 hours of what you call it, tinatawag natin sexual intercourse sa mga may tulo na babae. Sa babae kasi guys, asymptomatic. Ibig sabihin nito, hindi nakikita yung symptoms. Nalalaman na yan kapag may severity of infection. Now, acute pyogenic past forming. At the same time, it can be identified in urogenital tract, pharynx, and sa bata. Kapag nag-labor ang nanay, ophthalmia neonatalum, and less likely infection, kapag immunocompromised ang patient, disseminated, and even anal canal sa mga babae. Kasi yung sa vagina lining malapit sa anal area. Now, Neisseria gonorrhea, the humans are the only known host, morphologically speaking. No? They are gram-negative diplococci, coffee bean shape or kidney shape. And take note, they are obligate intracellular. Ibig sabihin nito, nakikita sila inside the cell. Particularly, your WBC or epithelial cells. Ganon din si ating Neisseria meningitidis. They are both obligate intracellular. Ibig sabihin nito, nakikita yung bacteria, yung gram-negative diplococci inside the WBC or your PMN, polymorphonuclear cells. They are capnophilic. Another, gonorrhea, it can infect the following. Ang urethra may epithelial cells. Mabilis mag-attach dyan. Sa babae, endocervical, anal canal, pharynx, and conjunctiva. Incubation, 24 or 48 hours to 7 days. Newborn creates prophylaxis, 1% silver nitrate, or erythromycin drops. Yan ang ginagamit natin for our gonorrhea. Now, disease in male. Sa lalaki, tandaan, pag hirap ka na umihi at nakipagbembangan ka sa hindi mo kilala, alam mo na, tulo yun. Magpa-check up ka na sa doktor. After that, pag may nakita kang ganyan, pag ikaw ang medtech, lalaki din ang medtech na kukuha ng sample. Or the doctor. Cotton swab, or pag ganitong may tulo, smear, glass slide, itatouch mo lang, naka-gloves ka, then after that, gawa ka ng spreading, then after that, gram stick. Pag nagpa-urinalysis yan, if the count of WBC per HPL is 100, report it as TNTC. Too numerous to count. Diba? Yan ang turo sa inyo, microscopically, per HPL. Blood cells are identified quantitatively by HPL. Madalas ganyan. Why? Kasi that's purulent. It's rich in WBC and bacterial cell. And transmitted by sexual contact, 95% sa lalaki, symptomatic. Now, dysuria, difficulty of urination, because of pain. Kapag iba makikipagalo ka sa jowa mo, napag-aralan namin yung kanino. May tulo ka, Okay? So sabihin mo na, diretsay mo na. Hindi excited ka pa. Bigyan mo, pagamot kayo. No? Kawawa naman yan. Kaya yung mga ganyan, pag halimbawa, hindi yan nakuha sa inyo, alam mo na. No? So sa iba siya nakipagbembangan. Then at the same time, na nakakatakot sa lalaki, epididymitis and prostatitis. Inflammation of the prostate gland and at the same time epididymitis na kung saan pwede silang mabaho. Urinary structure, kaya nga may dysuria. Kasi nga, nagiging narrow yung daanan ng ihi. Kaya may pain. No? Kaya sa lalaki, symptomatic. Now, sa babae, asymptomatic. Pero, kapag naging symptomatic or severe infection, may burning sensation, mainit, nangangapi, at yung discharges may white to green color, plus abdominal pain. Worst scenario, PID. Dalawa ang nagkakos ang PID. May isa, gonococcal, yung isa non-gonococcal. Gonococcal, Neisseria gonorrhea. Non-gonococcal, chlamydia trachomatis. Okay? Actually, pareho sila ng symptoms. Ang pinagkaiba lang nilang dalawa, ang chlamydia are gram-negative bacilli. And at the same time, iba ang way on how we can able to identify chlamydia. Okay, but they have the same symptoms. Pero mas severe ang symptoms ng Neisseria compared kay chlamydia. What is PID? PID is pelvic inflammatory disease na nakakatakot dito ay pwedeng mabaok ang babae plus magkaroon ng ectopic pregnancy. Pag nangyari yun, it requires forced abortion. Kasi mamamatay din naman yung bata. Kaysa mamatay yung nanay, i-forced abortion na. And perihepatitis, Fitzhugh-Kaldis syndrome, complication sa mababaihan mo. Next, we have disseminated. Ibig sabihin nito, kapag kumalat yung infection, particularly, halimbawa in other parts of the body. Symptoms actually, common bacteremia. Halimbawa sabihin natin, immunocompromised yung patient, and at the same time, nagkaroon din ng skin lesion. Ayan, pwedeng affected yung joint dito. At the same time, it can lead to septic joint. And of course, no, worst scenario, it can also lead to gonococcal arthritis and result of bacteremia or disseminated infection. Like what I had mentioned, nangyayari ang dissemination kapag immunocompromised ang patient. Next, sa children, kapag buntis, dadaanan yan yung mata, ang may mucosal area. Even nga dito pwede. Kaso, ito yung dinadaanan yung mata, kaya pwede magkaroon ng ophthalmia neonatal. At pwede mabulag yung bata. So, ang ginagawa natin dito, drops of erythromycin or Krebs prophylaxis. 1% silver nitrate. Now, extragenital infection, pwedeng pharyngitis, anorectal sa babae, because of what we call na tinatawag nating inadvertent infection. Yung anal area, malapit sa vagina. Kaya, pwede magkaroon kapag halimbawa, nagkaroon ng secretion sa babae, tapos napunta sa anal area, pwedeng ganun. Okay? And at the same time, pharyngitis. So guys, these are the complications. Sa lalaki, pwede magkaroon ng purulent discharge, difficult of urination, then after that, prostatitis and epididymitis. Sa babae, PID, asymptomatic, sterility. Yan ang nakakatakot. Pero yung symptoms nito, halos pareho kay chlamydia. Kaya nga, ang chlamydia, ganyan din, may purulent discharge. Trichomonas vaginalis sa babae, may discharges din. Pero mas mabaho ang Trichomonas vaginalis. Now, trabaho ninyo, huwag kayong tatawa. Halimbawa, no? Halimbawa, pag ang pasyente lalaki kukuha. Mahirap pag walang discharge. Kasi gagamitin mo, ipapasok mo yung Dacron or Ryan swab, not cotton, kasi may calcium alginate, may inhibitory. Ang gagamitin mo, Dacron or Ryan, 2 to 3 cm. Then dalawa, isang pang gram stain, isang pang culture. Pag suspected for Neisseria, gumamit ka ng chocolate agar plate. Now, after that, yung isa, mag-gram stain ka. Pag sa lalaki, 2 to 3 cm, rotate mo siya. Then, pwede mong gumamit ng transport medium pag malayo, like Jambec, Amis, or Transgrow. Now, sa babae naman, or anal area, mas malalim. Pag suspected lang. Then at the same time, genital sites, normal handling, urethra in males, no discharge, insert, 2 to 3 cm. Sa babae naman, medyo mas malalim. That's actually more than 2 to 3 cm konti, pero dito yung sa cervical area. Then anal oral pharyngeal can be your specimen sample. Now, mas madali kapag parehong may discharge. Hindi ka na mahihirapan. Kasi yun na yung sample mo. Pero pag walang discharge, gumamit ka ng insert mo, rotate. Then after that, sa eyes sa mga bata, blood or joint fluid sa mga suspected arthritis, pag-cause with Neisseria. So those are the specimen sample.
Alin ko mas malala? Yung may discharge or yung wala?
Actually, depende. Kasi pag walang discharge, minsan pagaling na yon. Pero pag may discharge, yun yung bagong infection pa lang. Sa babae, hindi mo masabi kung pareho yun eh. Kasi pag may discharge sa babae, severe yun. Medyo mas malala. Kasi sa babae, ang discharge bibihira. Lalo na sa cervical or vaginal. Pero, depende sa kulay ng discharge, depende sa amoy ng discharge. The OB-GYN or the doctor can able to rule it out, but we can able to identify by laboratory test. Okay? Now, so after that, we can transport the media and we use chocolate agar. So, syempre, pwede tayo mag-gummy stain, then pwede natin itong gamitin na kung saan we can now culture our sample. So, chocolate agar supplemented with inhibitory for gram-positive, ito na yung sinasabi natin. Ito yung media natin. And that is actually your Thayer-Martin. Your Thayer-Martin contains the following. And ito yung ini-inhibit ng ating mga content niya. Vancomycin gram-positive, colistin gram-negative, nystatin yeast. For our modified methymetoprim lactate, swarming ang ini-inhibit niya. For Martin Lewis, may siyang anisomycin yeast. For New York City, we have the amphotericin B for yeast. Then GC-LEC, meron tayong lincomycin gram-positive. Then at the same time, amphotericin B for yeast. And trimethoprim, dalawa, Proteus and capnocytophaga. Okay? Yan. Dami yan, no? Then after that, they are capnophilic. So we need to use candle jar, 5% carbon dioxide, 37 degrees Celsius. Colin morphology. Pag sa modified Thayer-Martin, makikita natin yung growth niya na may translucent, small, pinpoint, gray colony, and sometimes raised. Yan ang itsura ng Neisseria gonorrhea. Okay? Next, ito naman yung ating Neisseria gonorrhea after 24 hours growth in Thayer-Martin agar. And at the same time, morphology, gram-stain, gram-negative diplococci, sometimes intracellular. In symptomatic males, 95% gonococcal infection. In women, less diagnostic because there are some na pareho sa vaginal flora. Anong ginagawa? Penicillin disc test. Pag naging sensitive yan, that can be considered to be what we call now Neisseria. Because Neisseria are penicillin susceptible. Tapos dito sa letter B, the microscopic morphology of Neisseria gonorrhea in gram-negative diplococci using penicillin disc. Ito yon. Then, dito naman sa letter C, morphology ng Klingela. Then letter D, elongated gram-negative ng Acinetobacter. Next, para mabilis tayo, oxidase. Ginawa natin to, unfortunately, we don't succeed. Kasi nga parang negative yung nagawa natin. Gagamit lang tayo ng oxidase reagent. 1% dimethyl paraphenyl diamine dihydrochloride or tetramethyl paraphenyl diamine dihydrochloride na kung saan purple or violet ang color. Remember, Neisseria are all oxidase positive. Now, this is the confirmatory test. This test, yung tinatawag nating CTA or cysteine 50-case agar, the fermentation test will differentiate other variant or species ng ating Neisseria. They contain equal concentration ng 1% glucose, maltose, lactose, sucrose. Remember, read at 24 hours, 37 degrees Celsius. And color, yellow. Indicator, feel red. Now, Neisseria gonorrhea, glucose positive. Neisseria meningitidis, glucose, maltose positive. Ito yun. Yan. Paki-memorize yan. Ha? Para sa Wednesday, mag-perfect nyo. Ha? O, isa-isayin natin. Gusto nyo na para, ano? Okay, ready. Unahin natin. Ito yung bacteria natin. Neisseria gonorrhea, meningitidis, lactamica, then we have also our Moraxella and Klingela. Now, catalase. Lahat catalase except Klingela. Next, superoxo. Isa lang ang positive. That is your Neisseria gonorrhea. What's the difference between catalase and superoxo? Superoxo use 30% H2O2, catalase use 3% H2O2. So nagkaiba yung concentration ng ating hydrogen peroxide na mas pinataas into 30%. Remember, presumptive test ng ating Neisseria gonorrhea superoxo test. They are the only positive among gram-negative cocci. Next, fermentation test. Paki-memorize. Neisseria gonorrhea, glucose lang. Meningitis, glucose and maltose. Lactamica, glucose, maltose, and of course, lactose. Cinerea, minsan na pagkakamilan siya, Neisseria gonorrhea. Then Zika, except lactose and DNase. Isa lang ang DNase positive. Moraxella lang. And last, glucose fermenters, Zikingella. Okay? And non-fermenters, flavescens. Wala kahit isa. Isa pa, we have nitrate reduction. Lahat, nitrate reduction negative, except Moraxella and Kingella. Enzyme, beta-degalactosidase, lactamica, kaya nga lactose fermenters. Tama? And, okay na yun. Kaya, very good. Sabi ko sa inyo next, eto naman tayo. Now, kaya ko pa. Last. Okay. Kunti na lang po. So dito makikita natin yung culture-based method ng identification ng Neisseria and related species. Now, actually, yung biochemical test sa CTA, that is conventional. So, matagal na ginagawa ito. Now, gonna check, that's actually confirmed isolate only from selective media. Then, itong back to card, PADEBAC, that is semi-quantitative method. But we use this method for detection of the same principle na may fermentation test. Okay? Now, at the same time, ang fluorescence antibody monoclonal, ginagamit natin to for fluorescence label. That is a serological test for Neisseria gonorrhea. Yun nga lang, ang dinedetect niya, it use monoclonal antibodies with fluorescence label. So, immunoassay siya. So, pag nagkaroon ng tinatawag nating reaction, nagkaroon ng tinatawag nating fluorescence morphology, no? Using ultraviolet microscope. So, parang ganito yung nangyayari dyan. Yan. So, this is an example of what we call now fluorescence antibody test using monoclonal antibodies na kung saan ang nadedetect dito yung porine antibody or porine protein kakosana. That is actually using our assay na fluorescence producing fluorescence tags. Ito yung kanyang, of course, no, principle, co-agglutination. Next, we have also our, of course, no, ito yung problems natin sa carbohydrate. Remember, this is actually what we call now conventional method. Ngayon, minsan, may mga weak acid production from glucose, particularly Neisseria gonorrhea, and misidentification of Neisseria subclava as meningitis. Okay? Why? Minsan, may subclava na sucrose negative na maltose and glucose fermenters. And Cinerea, minsan, nami-misunderstood siya with Neisseria gonorrhea because they are glucose positive. Yan ang problem natin. Ito paki-memorized. Ano lang yung kanina? Ano lang? No-overwhelm na kayo kung wala pa tayo sa 1/8 ng midterm. Kasi hanggang Enterobacteria shape tayo. Yung susunod dito, 160 plus slide. Gram-positive bacilli. That will be on Thursday. Para Monday, quiz ulit. Kaya, para next week, after gram-positive, Mycobacterium, konti lang yun. Ang madami entero. Parang madami yung enter. Parang kaya ko ba kaya yun? Teka lang, ang dami na pala. Gram-positive bacilli pa lang, madami na. Ito, konti pa lang tayo. Wala pa tayo sa ano. So at least kahit pa paano nakaano na tayo, nakauna na tayo. Diba? Bakit? Sa ibang subject, diba? Isang ano na po term, hindi, no? Wala pa yan. Okay, ito, i-memorize yun to. Tignan nyo ha, mas mabilis. Blood agar plate. The rest, hindi natin na-detect sa blood agar ng gonorrhea meningitis, but in chocolate agar or Peyer Martin. Now, glucose fermentized gonorrhea. Meningitis, glucose maltose. Then, lactamica kasama si lactose. Then, nitrate reduction, mucosa. And, at the same time, Branamela, ito yung monaxella. Kanina. Okay? So, ito na-explain ko na, nucleic acid. One way to differentiate or identify Neisseria is actually with our PCR. Ang maganda dito, we can easily identify rapid, sensitive, and at the same time, specific. Ang disadvantage lang, may mga non-amplified or non-amplification proof tests are only marginally sensitive lang sa mga cervical cultures in females. And at the same time, no, it can detect also yung tinatawag nating, of course, no, chlamydia and Neisseria. Yun nga lang kasi, not approved for pharyngeal or rectal specimen. Kailangan cervical lang or urine sample. Do not allow for recovery of an organism to be used for susceptibility testing. That is for nucleic acid. Tingnan nyo, i-memorize nyo to. First, dalawa. Tingnan nyo kasi explain ko nga eh. Dalawa kasi yung klase. Meron tayo non-amplified and amplified. Okay na. Pag sabi mong non-amplified, that is produced by GenPro. Dito, dinedetect natin diretso yung gonococcal RNA. So, the principle is chemiluminescence label, fluorescence label. Okay? Pero dito, nadedetect niya both Neisseria gonorrhea and Chlamydia trachomatis. For our non-amplified, yon. Amplified naman, Roche. Medyo may kamahalan. Yun nga lang kasi, limited ang specimen. Ang ginagamit natin dito, urogenital, male and female urine, and discharges. Now, the principal thermophilic amplification of target gene, both Neisseria gonorrhea or Chlamydia trachomatis. That is actually for amplified test. O yun lang, no? Kunti lang. Next, superoxone, explain ko na. 30% H2O2. Wala na akong boses. Paki-memorize to. Gusto ko sana explain. Ang ating Neisseria kasi, may tinatawag tayong plasmid-mediated penicillinase producing Neisseria gonorrhea. Ang ibig sabihin nito, they actually mediate, no? Yung plasmid, it can able to what we call now produce penicillinase that will destroy the penicillin. That's why they are considered to be penicillin resistant. Meron din tayong bacteria na chromosome-mediated penicillin resistant, which will able to alter penicillin by binding protein. Kasi ang ginagawa ng ating Neisseria gonorrhea, ang ginagawa nila is that they produce a certain protein na kung saan dun mismo nakikipag-interact yung antibiotic or na-produce a certain substance that will destroy the antibiotic. Kaya, ang nangyari dito, nagkaroon ng maraming certain particular resistance. Example, PPNG, beta-lactamase production. Sa penicillin resistant na yan. Yan ang una. Pangalawa, chromosome-mediated. These are actually low-level penicillin kasama ang tetracycline. Plasmid-mediated high-level tetracycline resistance talaga. Then chromosome-mediated spectinomycin and fluoroquinolones mutation. So therefore, may mga Neisseria gonorrhea that can be resistant to some antibiotics. Okay, lumabas to minsan sa board exam, PPNG. Anong ibig sabihin niya? Treatment, penicillin. Pag allergic or by mouth, ampicillin. Allergic, tetracycline, streptomycin intramuscular. Medyo masakit daw yan. If resistant to penicillin, cephalosporin, ceftriaxone, cefotaxime, cefoxitin. Let's have Neisseria meningitidis. Oh, wala na akong boses. Ilan na lang yan? Kunti na lang naman, di ba? Ipahinga ko lang ng 2 minutes yung boses ko. Okay. So, ilan na lang, konti na lang. No? Kaya natin to. Yung importante na lang. Sige. Ang Neisseria meningitidis, guys, kasi they are respiratory flora or normal flora ng upper. Pero, ang nangyayari dito, there are some complications, particularly, tinawag siyang epidemic meningococcinia kasi nga, common to sa mga isang lugar na malamig. Tapos, nagkakaroon ng tinatawag natin direct contact or droplet, kaya it became contagious or communicable. Now, dito, it primarily affects the immunocompromised patient. And yung virulence factor kasi nito is considered to be very virulent because of the capsule, plus of course, the lipopolysaccharide. Now, take note, no, that this can lead to septicemia and invades the meninges, leading to meningococcinia na sinasabi natin. The term meningococcinia is the presence of the bacteria in the meninges, in the blood. But take note, hindi lahat na may septicemia may meningitis. Pwede yung infection nasa blood lang. That's actually for meningococcinia. Okay? Now, take note, they are highly fatal. Another, this is caused the following. Ito yung common name niya. Epidemic meningococcal meningitis, CSF fever or spotted fever. Spotted because of the rashes. And take note that it produces a virulent endotoxin called lipopolysaccharide. At the same time, ito yung ating bacteria, they are actually in the CSF sample, gram-negative diplococci. Now, transmission, direct contact, lack of specific antibody susceptibility. Why? Ang ginagawa kasi ng ating bacteria, meron siyang porine proteins that will able to produce a protein na yung antigen na akala nung katawan natin, yun na yung bacteria, hindi pala. Yun na yung produce ng ating Neisseria meningitidis. But not exactly the bacteria na pag nag-produce ng katawan natin ng antibody, yun na yung sisirain niya. But not exactly the bacteria. At the same time, symptoms, headache, stiff neck, vomiting, fever, and ito na. Take note, purulent meningitis. And may case tayo dito. We isolate one in Mandaluyong before and many cases in Baguio City. Common to sa mga bata, school-age children. Worst scenario, nagkaroon ng rashes yung bata. Pag may rashes na yan, we call that, of course, petechiae or ecchymosis. Meaning to say, may adrenal hemorrhage ang bata. That is one of the last stage. Or meaning to say, pwedeng poor yung kanyang, pwedeng may problem na yung bata, or poor prognosis na pag may ganito. At the same time, meningococcinia, appearance of the skin, petechiae purpura, fulminant. Ibig sabihin nito, it can lead to Waterhouse-Friderichsen syndrome. Ito yung binanggit ko kanina. Once there is the hemorrhage in the adrenal gland. Take note ha, pwede magkaroon ng tachycardia and hypotension. Pwede yan ang ikamatay ng bata kapag may internal hemorrhage. Kasi nga, that's actually one particular effect of hemorrhage. Okay? Then, at the same time, there are respiratory droplets. Like what I had mentioned, pwede may sepsis na walang meningitis. At the same time, adrenal gland hemorrhage, this is one of the pathognomonic sign that can lead to death. DIC, disseminated intravascular coagulation. Meaning to say, kapag nag-disperse, kalat-kalat yung coagulation factor mo, kaya you are prone to acquire what we call now hemorrhage or internal hemorrhage. And maliban dito, septic shock. Ibig sabihin ng septic shock, there is what we call now infection in the blood, plus the toxin production. Okay? Next, we have laboratory diagnosis. Sample. It can be blood, CSF, nasopharyngeal swab. CSF, ayun na, Agram stain. And at the same time, culture. Theuer-Martin, chocolate agar, or blood as sheep blood agar. Makikita natin dito sa fermentation, maltose and glucose. Paki-memorize, nasabi ko na kanina. Then after that, they are gram-negative diplococci, growth in our chocolate agar media, and blood agar plate. Plus, treatment, penicillin, prophylaxis, rifampin, vaccine available for subtypes, but hindi masyadong effective, but can limit the outbreak and at the same time effective sa asthmatic. Ibig sabihin ito, wala na explain yung patient. They are prone for infection. Next, chocolate agar plate, mucoidal. Nasabi ko kanina, kapag capsulated yung bacteria natin, expect for a mucoidal colony. And non-pathogenic, meron pa yung group 1, 2, and 3. Group 1, pathogen, 2, commensal, that grows into your Martin. Group 3, commensals that do not grow into your Martin. Example, ito yun. Kaya makikita mo yung mga disease nila, meningitis, endocarditis, prosthetic valve, pneumonia, empyema, and so forth and so on. Dog bite, we vary. Paki-memorize. Ha? Bakit ayaw nyo ba? Yan, i-memorize guys. Okay. Hanggang 8 o'clock naman tayo. Sige, tignan natin dito yung itatanong ko. First, Neisseria gonorrhea. Parang ito na yung summary. Para hindi kayo mahirapan. Okay? Parang sa bacteriology kayo na no-overwhelm. Masyado bang madami? Wala pa tayo sa kalahati. Kasi, pag titignan mo yung gram-positive bacilli, di ba binigay ko na? Yun ang madami. Yun ang nakapagod ako ng todo. Nung in-explain ko yung gram-positive bacilli. Sobrang dami nun. Kaya gusto ko na siya umpisahan by Wednesday or Thursday. Kasi ito yung pinakamadami. Ayan. Ilan siya? 159. Tapos yung iba wala pa dyan. Nasa Rodriguez pa yung i-discuss ko. Pangatlo pa lang to. After nito, Mycobacterium. After Mycobacterium, Entero. Yun ang midterm. Kayang-kaya nyo yan. Oh, ayan o, amputate. Oh. Gas gangrene. Oh. Lollipop bacillus. Pero madali na lang pala ito. Konti na lang siya. Madali lang pala to. Oh. Ay, ito ipapamemorize ko sa inyo to. Prevotella, Deschernes, Porphyromonas, Fusobacterium, Fusobacterium nucleatum. Do you know what's the color of chartreuse? It's green. Chartreuse green. Parang ito siya, green. Sa ultraviolet. That's Fusobacterium nucleatum. Ha? Okay. So ito, ang i-memorize nyo lahat. O sige, tignan natin. Una, Neisseria gonorrhea, grayish white.
yung infection niya, pag kukuha tayo ng sample, no, we can able to isolate sa mga cervical and vaginal and penile discharges. Meningitis, CSF. Then makikita mo, ganun din, yellowish, bluish, gray ang colony. Polysaccharida, that's yellowish, nasa pharynx. Neisseria lactamica, grayish white, nasa pharynx, sa mga bata. Then Cinerea, grayish white, nasa pharynx. Mucosa, grayish to buff yellow, nasa pharynx. After that, Zika, we have grayish white, opaque, wrinkled. Breadcrumbs, meron to. Sabi ko na Kai Rodriguez. Yan. Yung ating mga breadcrumbs na yan. So, pwede yung i-memorize yung ating Neisseria. Pwede yung gamitin yung kay Rodriguez. Mas marami nga lang sa kanya. Pero malaking tulong yan sa pag-abot ng inyong pangarap. Yun. So that is actually for Neisseria. Then, para ma-memorize natin, para mas mabilis, no? Yan. Then we have the NAAT pala. Ito yung sinabi ko, amplification and non-amplified. Ito yung chemiluminescence, ito yung non-amplified. Neisseria meningitis, sasabi ko na kanina yan. Then meningococcemia, kasama yan. Then of course, ito yung sinasabi ko. Okay? So, halimbawa sabihin natin, elongata, clay-like, corrode agar. Flavescens, yellow color. Lactamica, yellow ring. Meron kayo niyan. Meron ako binigay sa inyo. Mucosa, Zika, breadcrumbs. Then, Viveri, asaccharolitic, smooth colony, semi-opaque. Then, dog bites, infection. Balik tayo dun sa malaki. Okay. Yan. Huwag kayong mawala ng pag-asa. Then, Kingella. Kingella is convex, pitting, upper respiratory, dog bites. Upper respiratory lang. Catarrhalis, grayish white, wagon wheel, after 48 hours. Paano yung wagon wheel? Ganito siya. Ito yung wagon wheel appearance. Ito siya sa chocolate agar plate, wagon wheel, ang itsura ng Moraxella catarrhalis.
Hindi ko kita yung bulong.
Wagon wheel structure lang. Okay? Tapos sa taas, gram-negative diplococci. Mostly kapag Neisseria Moraxella, they can be identified dito. Mostly respiratory infection like pneumonia, otitis media, sinusitis. Nakakatakot na kapag immunocompromised patient, pwede magkaroon ng tinatawag nating complication sa mga, halimbawa, immunocompromised like advanced, yung mga matatanda, immunodeficient, at babaang neutrophils. Okay? Yan. Then, these are what we call now, yung tinatawag natin, ito, paki-memorized. Ito yung ating catalase oxidase test. Ito yung memorize yung dalawa, importante yan. Okay? Yun na lang, siguro. Kasi nga, wala tayong magagawa, marami ang bacteriology. Kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, pag hindi kaya ngayong SEM, meron pa naman. Pero kung kaya nyo ngayon, di ipaglaban nyo. No? Kayanin natin. Now, cultures of non-pathogenic Neisseria are various, no? Other Neisseria, pero they are pathogenic. Cardiobacterium hominis, Grosset pattern sa Grammy stain. Then, Cardiobacterium hominis in the blood agar plate, non-hemolytic. Then, Aglyctobacter actinomycetum comitans, they are, sige, para maintindihan nyo, mahaba kasi yun eh. Si Aglyctobacter. Hayaan nyo. Sa identification, makukuha nyo yun. Wrong spelling mo.
ang Agricatibacter at Actinomyces termcomitans, they are irregular gram-negative Coccobacilli. Pero dito, naipakita kasi they resemble cocci. Now, makikita mo, they have a star-shaped colony. We call that Agricatibacter Actinomyces termcomitans. Now, dito, Cardiobacterium hominis, rosette pattern, gram-stain. Tapos, we have, of course, our Moraxella. Moraxella catalhalis was identified first Branamella, then Neisseria catalhalis, ang pinaka-original name. Then after that, Branamella. Then pinangalan ni Branham as Moraxella. Ito yung bago niyang pangalan. Now, this one are identified in the respiratory system. Pero, it can cause respiratory infection. Now, actually, ang Moraxella catalhalis, no, they are gram-negative Coccobacilli, but they resemble cocci. Whereas Moraxella lacunata are gram-negative bacilli that causes conjunctivitis. They are oxidase positive, no? And of course, they are capnophilic also. Now, if you will see, ang isa sa mga virulence factor ni Moraxella, they are penicillin resistant. Take note that they have the capability to hydrolyze penicillin because they have the beta-lactamase enzyme. Plus, it can cause the following infection if they are opportunistic. So they actually easily affect immunocompromised patient. Lalo na, ito daw sinasabi nilang pneumonia sa mga immunocompromised patient or matatanda. Like it can cause pneumonia, sinusitis, or infection in the middle ear. Plus, ito yung wagon wheel appearance, microscopy, gram-negative diplococci or tetrax. And, ano pa ba? At nawala. Namatay. Hindi pa. And, of course, this is the disease summary. Last slide. There is an exacerbation of chronic COPD. No? COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease leading to pneumonia. Kaya pag halimbawa sabihin natin, nagkaroon tinatawag natin yung exacerbation or there is a exudates, no? Pwede magkaroon ng tinatawag natin pneumonia. And pneumonia in children, enteritis media in what you call now sa bata. Pero, ang Moraxella lacunata, it causes conjunctivitis sa mga matatanda or bata din. No? In short, it causes sore eyes. Ang Moraxella lacunata kasi, they are gram-negative bacilli. That ends the presentation. Now, dadagdagan natin konti. Para at least maano natin. Bakit? So, ito yung ating Moraxella catalhalis, wagon wheel appearance, hockey pouch. Ayan o, hockey pouch. Then, yan ang ating growth sa back and cap. Paki-check na lang. Okay? So, meron siyang tributylin test positive. That is definitive test for Moraxella. Then, paki-memorize din. Importante yan. Okay na? Kaya? Okay. Hanggang dyan na lang tayo. Any questions? On Wednesday, please bring PPE. Nag-request ba kayo? Wednesday, please bring PPE. Tapos, we will have laboratory. Then, grade consultation. Then, quiz. Wednesday. Ha? Quiz, gram-positive cocci and gram-negative cocci. Thursday, laboratory. Hanggang 3 hours naman yun, di ba? O, sulitin natin tuition fee nyo. Para kahit bagsak, at least may natutunan kayo, di ba? So, Wednesday, laboratory tayo. Thursday, magdala ng PPE. Observe 30.